If you've watched my previous videos or regular ka nang nanonood ng mga stock chart analysis videos, I'm sure you've heard me mention these terms, yung mga basura stocks, blue chips, and first liners. So I decided to make a more comprehensive video talking about these concepts. So itong mga terms kasi na to, it's closely tied towards a concept called market capitalization. So in this video, I'll be talking about these terms and explain to you how you can use market capitalization to your advantage. So what is market capitalization? So sobrang daming definition nito. Different traders, different investors talk about market capitalization in different ways. Pero para sa akin, market capitalization is the total objective value of a certain stock. So, keyword natin dyan is objective, and the reason for this is because your market capitalization isn't up for debate because the formula for getting your market capitalization are based on two things. So, una, yung total number of outstanding shares, which is of course objective na data, and your previous closing price. And sometimes, pwede din na current price if you're currently monitoring the market capitalization of a certain stock habang bukas yung market. But of course, if you're doing your analysis when the market is closed, syempre, babasihan mo yung previous closing price. How do you know the market capitalization of a certain stock? So, there are two ways. Yung una, if you already have an online brokerage account or you're fond of looking at charts, most likely, pag na-click mo yung specific stock na gusto mo, makikita mo somewhere sa screen mo yung detail ng market capitalization. Kasi most trading charts and most brokerages already provide this information. But if you want to do it manually, you just need to go to the PSE Edge website. And ito yung mga i-click nyo or ita-type nyo sa website. So, andito na tayo sa PSE Edge na website. So, this is the official website of the Philippine stock market. So, dito sa upper right, may nakalagay na search box. So, all you have to do is type the stock that you want to know, yung market capitalization. So, in this case, example lang natin, SMC. So, once you type SMC here, may lalabas sa ilalim na drop down. So, San Miguel Corporation. No? So, all you have to do is click that. Tapos, dadalhin kayo dito sa company information na tab, and all you have to do is click yung stock data. And makikita nyo dito nakalagay market capitalization around 147 billion. So, sabi natin kanina, yung formula for the market capitalization is the total outstanding shares. So, ito yan. For SMC, that's around 2.3 billion. And the previous closing na price. So, in this case, 61.90. So, ayun yung formula and papalitan lang natin yung values. So, yung around 2.3 billion na shares, itatimes mo sa 61.90 pesos. So, ang lalabas, yung market cap ng SMC is around 147 billion pesos. So, what is the significance of market capitalization? So, bakit kailangan mong malaman yung market capitalization whether you're an investor or a trader? Sa experience ko as a trader, for me, the significance of market capitalization is if a stock has a higher market capitalization, mas mababa yung chance niya na maging volatile. So, of course, inversely, if the stock has a lower market cap, mas mababa yung market capitalization niya, mas tumataas yung chance na magkakaroon siya ng volatility. So, syempre yung keyword natin is volatility, no? So, ano ba yung volatility? Volatility is the rate of price fluctuation over time. So, in short, volatility, kung gaano kataas yung ginagalaw ng price in terms of percentage, no? So, kung gaano siya kalikot or gaano siya kakulit sa chart. So, punta tayo sa isang stock chart para mapakita ko sa inyo kung ano ang itsura ng stock na mataas yung volatility and yung stock na mababa yung volatility. So, andito tayo sa chart ng Trans-Pacific Broadband Group or TBGI. So, ano yung makikita nyo dito sa candles ng TBGI? So, ito August 22 and ito August 26. And if we're going to look kung gaano kataas yung ginalaw na percentage ng TBGI, nung August 20, yung price ng stock around 13.20 and the following trading day, tumaas siya ng almost 49%. And the following trading day after that, tumaas pa yung stock up to 111%. So, ibig sabihin, yung stock na to, sobrang volatile. Kasi, yung tinalon niya in terms of percentage, sobrang laki in a short period of time. And the reason for that is because TBGI is a low market capitalization na stock. So let's review another chart. So andito tayo sa SM Investments, and if we're going to look at the chart of SM, alin dito sa SM chart yung nakikita natin na pinakamalaking candle? So just looking at this chart, nakikita natin itong November 20 na 2024, no? Sobrang laki niya. But if we're going to look at the percentage move, we can see na it's only 6%. So makikita natin sa TBGI kanina, isang malaking candle, umabot ng more than 40% yung increase. Itong sa SM, sobrang laki din ng candle kumpara sa iba niyang candles, pero 6% lang. So, the reason for that, less volatile yung stock kasi ang taas ng market cap ng SM. So, that is volatility, no? Again, the higher the market cap, the lower the chance for volatility. And the lower the market cap, the higher the chance for volatility. So, bakit ngayon significant yung market capitalization? Syempre, it allows you to have better prioritization, no, sa mga stocks na binibili mo or plano mong bilhin. And it will result, of course, for better capital appreciation. Kasi kung papapiliin ka, may bibilhin kang stock tapos mag-i-increase siya ng 6% sa loob ng isang araw or dalawa or tatlo, tapos merong isang stock na tataas siya ng 30 or 40% sa loob ng 1 week. So, syempre, anong mas pipiliin mo, di ba? Syempre, yung mas higher yung returns for a shorter period of time. So, knowing the market capitalization of certain stocks, it allows you to properly allocate and set your expectations sa pwede mong makuhang returns for a short period of time. Different traders, different investors, no, different books, different articles will tell you a different category in terms of market capitalization. Because wala naman talagang official na basis kung ano ba ang first liner, second liner, third liner, or fourth liner. So, the levels that you see here, based lang sa experience ko and sa mga nabasa kong articles and sa mga napanood kong videos na related mismo sa Philippine stock market. And of course, all these values are in Philippine peso, no? So, ibig sabihin, ang first liner, pag yung stock, yung value niya is nasa 60 billion and above, first liner siya. If the stock is between 10 billion to 59 billion, second liner yan. If the stock is 3 billion to 9 billion na market capitalization, we categorize that as third liners. And if the stock is below 3 billion, yung market capitalization, ang tawag dyan is fourth liners. So, pag-usapan natin isa-isa and let's talk about them ng mas comprehensive, no? So, first liners, I'm sure ilang beses nyo nang narinig itong term na to, lalo na pag investor kayo or unang beses nyo pa lang sa stock market kasi ito naman yung madalas na nire-recommend, no, ng mga investors or gumagamit ng fundamental analysis, no. Sinasabi nila na you should prioritize first liners, you should ignore or stay away from stocks that have lower market capitalization. So, yung first liners, they go by different names, pero yung mas kilalang alternative na name niya is large caps, no? So, of course, short for large capitalization. And gaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, it has a market cap of above 60 billion. And ang mga example nito is Globe, SM, kagaya ng chart na napakita ko kanina, and of course, BPI. So, tingnan natin yung mga ibang charts na to, no? So, andito tayo sa chart ng Globe and during the period of 2024 to 2025. And ano yung nakikita natin na significantly malaking candle? So, ito, yung October 29, 2024 na candle, no? So, kung titingnan natin yung price range niya, makikita natin na malaki yung candle pero 7% lang yung ginalaw. And ito pa, merong malaking candle na pataas. So, tingnan natin yung range ng candle na yon, 5.49% lang. So, malaki yung candle and yung percentage niya hindi ganun kalaki. So, alam na kaagad natin, no, na less volatile yung galaw ng stock na to. Because, of course, Globe is considered as a stock na first liner. And, syempre, yung Globe, yung market capitalization niya, no, madalas above 200 billion. Depende kung saan mo titingnan on a given period. So, the question is, what are blue chips? Because most of the time, no, pag napapag-usapan natin yung first liner or naririnig natin yung term na first liner, ang kasunod agad na term niyan, blue chips, no? And most of the time, they're used interchangeably. So, yung blue chips, it's a separate classification na tinatawag sa mga stocks na mataas yung market cap, tapos financially stable sila and well-established. So, most of the time, ang lumalabas synonymous na siya, no, sa first liners. Pero that's really not the case. Kasi ang basehan talaga natin ng blue chips, yung malaki yung market cap and well-established and financially stable. So, you can still spot blue chips sa mga second liner na mga stocks, no, because pwedeng nagkaroon lang ng dip sa market price nila sa short term or medium term, pero wala naman masyadong nagbago sa business nila. So, categorically, pwede nating masabing second liner na, pero yung buong company or yung buong corporation is still a blue chip. So, ang ibig sabihin lang naman ng blue chips is, ayun nga, no, yung mga magaganda at malalaking company. So, not necessarily na first liner agad sila. So, just a quick break from the discussion. Matagal na rin simula nang nakapag-update ako regarding sa subscriber count ng channel. So, right now, at the date of this recording, October 23, 2025, the subscriber count is around 1,138. So, thank you sa mga regular viewers or mga new viewers na nagsusupport sa channel na to at nanonood ng mga videos. So, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the like button as well, papunta sa road to 2,000 subscribers natin. So, balik tayo sa discussion. So, the second category for your stocks based on market cap, papasok dito yung second liners. So, may mga iba-iba ding terms na ginagamit to describe second liners, pero yung madalas na nagagamit or synonymous sa kanya is mid caps. And gaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, yung market cap niya is from 10 billion towards 59 billion. Yung mga example ng mga stock na to is RRHI, EW, and Keeper. So, puntahan natin yung mga stocks na to, no? So, andito tayo sa chart ng Keeper, and ang Keeper is categorized as a mid-cap or second liner. So, yung market capitalization kasi ng stock na to is around 30 billion, no? So, pag tinitingnan natin yung chart ng Keeper, wala tayong masyadong nakikita na malalaking candles. Pero clearly, we can see that the stock is volatile because if we're going to look dito sa move niya nung third week ng April, dalawang candles lang yan, no, magkasunudan, April 22 tsaka April 23. Yung makikita natin na ginagalaw niya sa 2-day period na yon is almost 11%, no, 10.45%. So, bibihira gawin ng mga first liner yung ganyang galaw na 10% in a span of 2 days, no. So, nakikita natin na mas volatile siya kumpara sa first liner, pero hindi kasing volatile kagaya nung TBGI, no, na pinakita ko kanina. So, isa pang example, itong EW. So, makikita natin na meron siyang malalaki na candle. So, kagaya nito nung July 28. And during that period, yung buong range nung candle na yon is around 5% lang. So, malaki yung candle pero maliit yung volatility sa araw na yon. Pero if we're going to look sa mismong ginawa niyang galaw, that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 na trading days lang, no? Pero simula dito hanggang sa taas, nag-increase siya ng almost 13%, no? Even upwards of 13.43%. So, bibihira mo din makita yung mga ganyang galaw sa first liner ng mga stocks, yung 3 or 4 na araw lang, tapos nag-increase ng 13%. So, again, since bumaba tayo ng market capitalization, mas nagiging volatile yung galaw niya, no, kumpara sa first liner. Gaya ng sabi ko kanina, merong mga blue chips na classified as first liners, but there are also blue chips na classified as second liners. And the reason for that is because yung mga second liners natin, previously mga first liners yan that have decreased in price significantly. Kasi kung isipin mo, no, if ang stock, yung market cap niya is 60 billion, so pwede rin natin masabi na financially stable yung kumpanya, maganda yung income nila, and mataas yung market share nila, tapos positive yung mga fundamentals. So kung 60 billion yung company na yon, tapos let's say in a span of 1 month, nag-drop siya ng 10%. So, ibig sabihin, nabawasan siya ng 6 billion na market cap. So, syempre, ang market cap niyan magiging 54 billion, di ba? So, pwedeng nagkaroon lang ng drop in share price, pero intact lahat ng business. Pero ngayon, considered na siya as second liner. Pero, wala namang nagbago sa business niya. So, nagkataon lang, no, na nag-decrease yung price. So, nako-consider natin tuloy sila as second liner. Pwede rin naman na ang second liner ay previously isang third liner that have increased in price significantly. Halimbawa, merong stock na third liner, so hindi ganun kalaki yung market cap niya, no? Tapos, yung business, maliit pa lang, tapos hindi naman ganun kalaki yung market share niya. So, kumbaga ano pa lang, no? Maliit pa talaga na company or maliit na corporation. And then, eventually, nagkaroon ng magagandang disclosures, no? Nagkaroon sila ng mga possible mergers, nagkaroon sila ng possible acquisitions, nagkaroon sila ng mga magagandang partnership. So, ang nangyari, nagkaroon ng good sentiment yung stock, tapos nag-increase yung price significantly. So, of course, since stock price is one of the components to get your market capitalization, syempre pag tataas yung stock price, tataas din yung market cap. So, pwedeng fundamentally wala pang nagbabago sa financials ng company. Pero because of the speculation, because of the good sentiment, tumaas yung price, nakategorize siya ngayon as second liner. Kasi tumaas yung market price, pero fundamentally, wala pa rin masyadong nagbabago sa company, di ba? So, posible yon na maliit na company tapos biglang lumaki yung market cap because nag-appreciate yung price ng grabe in a short period of time. So, the third category for stocks by market capitalization is third liners. So, marami din tawag sa third liners, pero most of the time, synonymous siya sa term na small caps, no? Or small capitalization. So, yung market cap ng third liners is between 3 billion to 9 billion. So, nakikita nga natin, no, na maliit lang na company. And gaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, since yung distansya, no, ng market cap ng third liner, 9 billion, pag nag 10 billion siya or more, pwede na nating makonsider a second liner. So, ibig sabihin, kung yung stock, yung market cap niya is 9 billion, tapos nag-increase siya ng 50%, ibig sabihin, yung market cap nun magiging more than 13 billion, no? 13.5. So, ibig sabihin, makakategorize siya ngayon as a second liner. So, that's why I said, second liners can be previous third liners. So, examples nito, kagaya ng M-Wide, FNI, LC. So, alam naman natin, yung Lepanto, maliit lang siya na mining company, no? But because of the surge in the price of gold, paunti-unting tumaas yung stock, tapos biglang tumaas. Ibig sabihin, nagkaroon ng magandang sentiment, no? Nagkaroon ng magandang disclosures, nagkaroon ng positive correlation sa gold. So, ang nangyari, tumaas yung market capitalization ng LC. So, ganun din pagdating sa M-Wide. So, kung napanood yung mga previous videos ko, alam nyo naman kung ano yung reason, no, kung bakit tumaas yung M-Wide. It's also because of disclosures and positive sentiment. So, yung panghuli na category by market capitalization is fourth liners. So, yung fourth liners, sometimes na kakategorize siya as small caps, pero to create a differentiation sa kanila ng third liners, mas preferred kong tawagin, no, yung fourth liners as micro caps. So, sobrang liit lang kasi talaga niya since ang market cap requirement is below 3 billion, no? So, kung yung company nasa 500 million lang, 600 million, 800 million, consider ko siya as fourth liner. But since sobrang lapit nga lang niya talaga sa value ng third liner, no, depende sa galaw ng market price sa certain day, pwedeng mag-interchange nga lang talaga yung fourth liner tsaka third liner. Kasi if yung fourth liner, yung market cap niya is 3 billion, tapos sobrang volatile niya, nag-increase siya ng 10%. So, syempre, yung market cap niya na 3 billion, magiging 3.3. So, automatically considered agad siya as third liner, di ba? Tapos, pag nabawi niya yung move na yon, edi babalik na naman siya sa below 3 billion, edi fourth liner na naman siya. That's why na-use siya interchangeably. So, ang example ng mga stock na to, APL, no, BSC, and Now Corporation. So, ang tanong naman, what are basura stocks or basuras? So, most of the time, naririnig nyo rin to, no? Lalo na pag pinag-uusapan yung mga small caps or mga micro caps, no? Yung ibang traders or ibang investors, nililabel yung third liners and fourth liners as basura stocks or basuras. And for the OG traders out there, mas kilala din sa tawag na Subarus, no? So, ang basura stocks, so syempre sa Pilipinas lang na term yan, di ba? So, yung mga basura stocks, most of the time, mga shell companies to na sobrang liit lang nung revenues or pwedeng zero nga or pwedeng nagiging negative pa yung net income nila. So, yung mga lugi na companies na maliliit yung market capitalization tapos walang masyadong galaw sa business nila, no? Wala silang nabebentang product or wala silang napoprovide na service. So, kaya siya nalilabel as basura kasi nga parang wala nang use para sa kanya, no? Or kumbaga walang silbi yung stock na yon. But of course, for certain periods, itong mga basura stocks na to, syempre nagkakaroon ng pag-increase in price because of sentiment. And you always hear me talking about these stocks, no? Lalo na pag yung mga speculative in nature, yung mga stocks na to. Kasi most of the time, ang nagkakaroon talaga ng mga speculative plays, yung nagkakaroon ng hype, yung nagkakaroon ng iba't ibang type ng sentiment, yung mga third liners and fourth liners. And oftentimes, ito yung mga basura stocks na yon. Since they are shell companies, napapadalas na pwedeng sila yung maging avenue for a backdoor listing, sila yung nagiging avenue for a merger or an acquisition, nagkakaroon ng mga partnership sa ibang companies, tapos pwede rin magkaroon ng mga privatization ng mga companies na to, kaya nagkakaroon ng mga tender offers. That's why biglaan, yung pagtaas ng mga stocks na to. And because they are so volatile, tumataas talaga yung price ng 20%, 30%, 40% sa isang araw, and sometimes even hitting yung mga ceiling prices nila. So, example niyan, yung pinakita ko kanina, TBGI nag-increase ng 100% in 2 trading days. So, wala naman talaga siya masyadong ginagawa yung stock na yun, no? Maliit yung income, no? Maliit yung revenues. Madalas nagne-negative pa. Tapos, nagkaroon ng play sa Konektadong Pinoy Bill, Konektadong Pinoy Act. So, marami nag-speculate na potential silang pwedeng gumawa ng projects regarding sa telecommunications or internet play. So, syempre, tumaas yung stock. And ganun din sa Now Corporation, no? Sa ECP. So, yung mga second liners na nakikita nyo ngayon, yung mga third liners na medyo mataas yung market cap, nagsimula sila dati as mga fourth liners lang na nagkaroon ng mga plays, no? Kaya nag-increase yung market cap, tapos gumanda yung business eventually. So, how can you use market capitalization to your advantage? So, napag-usapan ko nga kanina na ang stock na mataas yung market capitalization, mas less yung volatility niya. So, the lower the market cap, the better in terms of volatility. So, syempre, you can take advantage of this depende kung ano yung style mo sa pag-approach mo sa market. So, you can take advantage of market capitalization depende kung investor ka or trader. Tapos, depende pa yung subcategory na yon. So, una, if you are a dividend investor, syempre mas maganda na you're able to prioritize picking first liners. Because sabi nga natin, yung mga first liners, no, madalas andyan yung mga blue chips. So, subok na talaga sila ng panahon. And since they are well-established, financially stable, so you know that they are able to provide yung mga dividends na binibigay nila on a consistent basis, di ba? Syempre, may chance pa rin na bumaba yung price nila dahil syempre nagfa-fluctuate, kahit papano may volatility sila. But on a longer term scale, di ba, you don't expect na magiging sobra yung pagbaba nila unless of course magkaroon ng negative sentiment or naapektuhan yung business nila negatively. Pero most of the time, yung mga first liners talaga yung nakakapagbigay ng consistent dividends. Pangalawa, if you are a value investor, syempre lumalabas na mas maganda na ma-prioritize mo yung mga second liners. And the reason for that is because, as I've mentioned earlier, may mga second liners na first liner sila before, tapos bumaba lang yung stock price, no? So, pwedeng dun ka makahanap ng value kasi may mga stocks na maganda naman yung business niya, tapos nagkaroon lang ng dip in price for a certain period in months or years. Tapos, pwedeng nagkakaroon na pala ng recovery yung stock, no? Tapos, wala pang nakakapansin. That's why it's considered undervalued. So, pwedeng mababa yung market cap niya pero ang ganda ng business. So, eventually going back to its first liner na phase, no? So, pwedeng dun ka makahanap ng value, no? Mga dating first liner na naging second liner tapos on the way to its recovery Or pwede din na merong stock na mababa yung market cap kumpara sa mga blue chips, and then nakikita natin na gumaganda yung business niya bigla, no? Nagkaroon siya ng promising na mga projects or nagkaroon siya ng magandang partnership, may nangyayaring magandang merger or acquisition. So, yung second liner, deeply undervalued pa siya kasi hindi pa nare-realize ng buong market yung nangyayari. So, pwede siyang may potential na pumunta sa first liner category, di ba? So, pangatlo, if you are a long-term trader, no, you're doing swing trades or position trades, then okay na you prioritize yung mga first and second liners because hindi sila ganun ka-volatile, so you don't need to monitor your positions every day. Pwedeng weekly yung basis or monthly yung basis sa positions nyo. So, hindi kayo ganun ka-stress kasi hindi nyo kailangan bantayan araw-araw yung mga stocks nyo, yung mga positions. And most of the time kasi pag position trade ka, okay din na yung stock talaga is fundamentally sound para mas mataas yung chance that it will have a better capital appreciation, and on the side, no, pwedeng may mga makuha ka pang dividends while waiting. So, habang nag-aantay ka na mag-appreciate yung price, pwedeng may mga makuha ka pang dividends, no, during the consolidations of the stock. And the fourth one, if you are a short-term trader, ang ginagawa mong strategy, yung scalping, day trading, momentum trading, syempre mas maganda na you'll able to prioritize third and fourth liners because if you're a short-term trader, syempre ang gusto mo yung volatile because yung mga stock na to will have an increase in price for a short period of time. So, you will have better returns, no, in the short term. But again, itong mga stocks na to, as you trade the lower market capitalization na stocks, mas risky sila. So, mas mataas yung chance na mawalan ka ng pera, lalo kung wala kang edge, lalo kung wala kang maayos na trading system. So, itong mga nasuggest ko, no, from 1, 2, 3, and 4, syempre hindi naman yan clear-cut rule na kailangan yan talaga yung bilhin mong stock, 'di ba? So, kung value investor ka, hindi naman ibig sabihin na lagi ka lang second liner. It's just that mas maganda na ma-prioritize mo yung second liner. But of course, if you're seeing value sa isang third liner or fourth liner stock, 'di ba? What's stopping you if yun yung nakikita mong investment thesis? So, ganun din naman sa mga traders. Hindi ibig sabihin na mas ipaprioritize mo yung first and second liner. Totally iiwasan mo na yung third and fourth liners. Kasi syempre, kung may nakikita kang magandang setup na pwedeng maging long-term position, then of course, pwede mo pa rin i-trade yun. And the same goes for short-term traders. Syempre, priority lang natin yung third and fourth liners dyan kasi sila yung may better returns. Pero syempre, kung nagkakaroon ng mga short-term plays, biglang gumanda yung sentiment sa mga first and second liners, syempre, bakit hindi mo sila iti-trade, diba? Yung mga suggestion na binigay ko, syempre sila lang yung mga optimal for the specific type of investor or trader that you are. Pero syempre may mga exceptions dyan, which I just mentioned. So if you've learned a lot and gained a lot of value from this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe as well. Also, if you want to become a member of this channel and have exclusive access sa mga videos ko, sa mga stocks na tinitrade ko at sa mga stocks na binabantayan kong bilhin, you can click towards the left. Or if you want to watch yung mga videos ko talking about trade management, risk management, and trading psychology, you can click towards the right. So, ayun lang, and thank you for watching this video.